John Adams, principled patriot or power-hungry tyrant? Was he a bold defender of liberty or the man who tried to silence it? He helped birth a nation, defended the British in court, and wrote about liberty with fiery passion. But when he held power, he jailed critics, burned bridges, and made enemies of his own party. So was John Adams a principled president or one of our earliest cautionary tales? Welcome back to Presidential Paradox. Today we unravel the complex legacy of America's second president, John Adams. John Adams was born in 1735 in Massachusetts to a modest farming family, not part of the elite. He studied at Harvard, originally planning to be a minister, but switched to law. He's known for being honest to a fault, deeply intellectual, and extremely sensitive to criticism. He famously defended British soldiers after the Boston Massacre in court, arguing they deserved a fair trial. This was a very unpopular move, but he won the court case. He rose quickly during the American Revolution, serving in the Continental Congress, nominating George Washington to lead the army, and helping draft the Declaration of Independence. He was a diplomat, an architect. He served abroad as diplomat to France, the Netherlands, and Britain. His role in negotiating peace with Britain was crucial and often overlooked in the history books. He was the first vice president under George Washington, where he famously said, "The vice presidency is the most insignificant office ever invented by man." Cool fact, Adams and Thomas Jefferson once visited Shakespeare's birthplace together and ripped a piece off of his chair off as a souvenir. So, John Adams, what are some arguments for him being a great president? Let's dive in. Well, for one, Adams was never a crowd pleaser. He rejected party loyalty and didn't chase popularity. He often stood alone on what he believed was best, which is noble. Even while president, he refused to go to war with France during the XYZ affair, despite intense political pressure. This avoided full-scale conflict, which we see as a pretty decent move today, but it cost him politically during his time. He was the first president to lose re-election and step down peacefully. He proved democracy could survive losing power even with political rivals. He was a vocal critic of slavery, never owned slaves, which was very rare for his time. He advocated for an independent judiciary and strong legal foundation for the republic. But what's the case against John Adams? What can we point to prove that he was one of the worst presidents? Well, the biggest, most glaring fact is the Alien and Seditions Act. It was his low point as president. He signed laws that allowed the deportation of dangerous non-citizens, criminalized speech critical of the government, journalists and political opponents were imprisoned. One critic of Adams was jailed for calling him fat and repulsive. Obviously, in today's age, people say a lot worse about our political leaders. Can't imagine where they would have been during the Alien Seditions Act. All this was clear violation of First Amendment principles, and although America was on the brink of war with France, this was undoubtedly an authoritarian move. John Adams, even though he didn't grow up an elitist, harbored the elitist mindset. He believed that only the best and most educated should rule, and he wasn't shy about it. He criticized democracy as mob rule, saying that he was determined to be president of laws and not of men. His opponents often called him a monarchist in disguise. And John Adams overall had bad political instincts. He alienated both his own party and Republicans. He didn't attend Jefferson's inauguration, seen as a bitter, sore loser move, and he appointed Federalist judges in the final hours of his presidency called the Midnight Judges, fueling accusations of stacking the courts in his favor. So, a little what if for the comment section, so y'all can have some discourse. What if Adams had supported war with France during the XYZ affair? He might have won re-election, but could have dragged the U.S. into a devastating conflict. Let me know in the comments below your opinion on that what if. So now, let's grade John Adams on how good of a president he truly was. First off, the road to the White House. He went from a farmer's son to a revolutionary to vice president to president. A well-earned rise in power. I'm giving him A to his road to the White House. Good score there. What about his successes? Well, for one, he avoided war with France. He built the Navy and strengthened executive precedents. I'm going to give him B-. Failures and controversies. Well, of course, the Alien Sedition Act was a huge stain on his presidency. It was undemocratic and a paranoid move. He is getting a big fat D for failures and controversy. Going to morality and ethics, he was anti-slavery and principled, but also an elitist with heavy-handed dissent. I'm going to give him a B for morals. Going into long-term impact, he helped shape the early republic, though it is often overshadowed today. I'm going to give him a B- for impact. Leadership and vision. He was a visionary but lacked political tact and was too rigid to adapt to the times. I'm giving him a C in the middle for leadership. Public sentiment, he was very unpopular in his day. He was mocked, attacked, and ultimately voted out of office. So I'm going to give him a C- on public sentiment, only because we see him in a higher light today. Constitutional respect, well, he defended separation of powers, but contradicted free speech and ultimately abandoned the First Amendment during his Alien and Seditions Act. So he's getting a D+ for constitutional respect. So overall, his final tier is going to be a C+ for John Adams. He believed in a republic ruled by reason and law, but often acted with fear and overreach. He deserves credit for steering clear of war and never embracing slavery, but his paranoia and poor political instincts undermined his legacy. What do y'all think in the comments below? If you like this video, hit me with the like button. If you want to see more of these videos, faith-related content, or outdoor videos, hit that subscribe button and join the Southern Woods community. And of course, all good presidents are part of a secret society. If you want your own bonus secret content, join the membership program linked below. Join the Southern Woods family, Kindred, or Inner Circle. I will see y'all in the next presidential video of Presidential Paradox. Southern Woods out.